All right, part two. Here we go. Part two, capirotada. Let's see here. Let me do this. Let me do this. Okay. Okay, there we go. Got it. Okay. All right. Sherry, Frank. And we do round two. Ooh, I'm getting a facial.
Hey, Ladybug, we're back.
Ooh, I'm getting a cinnamon facial right now.
Ooh.
Okay, this smells so good.
Oh, that's raisins. I was going to ask what that colorful was on top.
I got yellow and regular, regular brown raisins. And yellow. So here we go. I have a feeling that thing too high because it's all going to puff up. So then you just start ladling in your liquid.
Mm-hmm.
And try not to do, you know what, I have the cloves. I should strain it, but I'm hoping the cloves get the bottom.
Come on in here, guys.
Oh, this smells so good.
Oh, I bet. I bet you that would even be good with dried cherries.
You could actually use, like I said, when I looked it up, people use all kinds of fruits. And you know what? That sounds really good. You know what? I'm going to get brave and change up the recipe one time. This actually came up on a memory for me. It said 4 years ago you made capirotada on Facebook, and I was like, oh my gosh, I haven't had it for like 4 years. So, and I always just stick, because like when I think about it, I just think of what I grew up with, like the flavor. But I think it's time to change it up. And dried cherry sounds so good. Ooh, okay. Smells so good.
Okay, guys, if you're seeing glitching now, let us know. Because it might be because there's 3 of us in here. It could be talking. I don't know. Let us know.
Yep, we're back up at 570 viewers.
Well, let me tell them what I'm making. This is capirotada. It's a Mexican bread pudding. And I've already added layers of bread, cheese, raisins, nuts, okay? And in this water, I have cloves, cinnamon, piloncillo, which is raw cane sugar, and my dad always put an onion in. So that's what I did.
Boy, if you had leftover...
A pinch.
Hey, is that the CO thing, the little cone? Is it a cone?
Yes, it looks like a cone, and it's raw cane sugar.
I have always wondered what that was and what it was for. Now I know.
It's sugar. You can use it people use it for a lot of different things, but traditionally that's what they use in this to sweeten it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that broth would taste good as like a winter tea.
Oh,
just
yes.
Adding a little honey. It's got good stuff in it, and I bet you it would be especially if you had a sore throat. I would bet you it would taste good. Or
so that's what we do in the winter. Mainly, I make the cinnamon sticks and boil them, and I drink it as tea. I like to add honey to it. Yes.
Okay.
See that? Frank has the right idea.
Well, it looks a good color, so it's robust, and that little bit of onion, I think, would, there are recipes that use onion, just like garlic. So I think it could be an interesting. Because this is a bread pudding that's got a savory slant. It makes me really curious, but I just think I'm going to have to try this.
I will, but I want that.
This smell is I'm just have memories of when I was little, even at my grandma's. It's just a smell that. The onion does something. I don't know what it is, but it's just this with the cloves, and I don't know. It's just reminding me of when I was little.
I'm wanting cowboy lasagna mix right now.
I might have had that for lunch for the sandwich left over. I might have done that.
That looked I want to stand over it and eat it.
It's really, a lot of us who are on Food Talk will get caught up in when we do recipes. I know Ashton does it. Many of us, when we've done recipes from family members who we grew up with, you're in the middle of the recipe, you're sharing, and all of a sudden there's this moment, you either get this tickle in your throat, or you get a smile, or you could see the memory be flashing of what it's supposed to smell or taste like. And that's a great experience. It's a powerful experience. Also, though, it's what stops us from getting creative, because it's like, no, that's what it was supposed to be like growing up. And like, I make a couple dishes. If I make them outside of the season, I can be creative. But when it's seasonal, I
Right.
have to make them that same way. But it is always, I think that's what makes these so compelling, because you get caught up in that moment, and you're like, oh,
Yes.
remember this. Like the fruit
Yes.
salad, Sherry.
Yes. That was such a happy minute for me. That the minute I tasted it, I almost cried. It was great. Even if I could only have one bite, I needed it to be that one bite right there.
Okay.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. We are just wrapping up the prep on a Mexican bread pudding that's got cinnamon
Okay.
and Mexican sugar, Oaxacan cheese, bread, an onion in the water, two different kinds of dried raisins, and did I
Pecans.
forget? And pecans. And it's going to be simmered, and it's kind of getting just given this hot bath of steam right now. um, and it looks just good, just like that. Oh
Okay, so
man.
you see I went slow because when I'm putting it in, you can see the bread's absorbing it. So now I have the where it's kind of not absorbing as fast. So I'm thinking that I'm good on the liquid. I probably should have made more liquid because I know that my dad would always add more during cooking.
Okay. Um, Listen, if you just got in here, please follow Food Talk TV. We go live. One of us, there are several of us creators, and we go live every day. One of us does, and sometimes more than once. It's called Capirotada. It's a Mexican bread pudding, and it's going to be really fabulous. So she is going to also make something else. She told me, really, listen, if you're glitching and nobody else is, if you'll shut out the whole don't, but just go out of TikTok and come back in and try. And if it's still doing it, I don't know, but everybody else saying it's okay.
And you're
um
making this on the stove, right? You're not putting it
Yes.
in the oven. It's on the stove the whole time.
Wait,
So I'm gonna cover this, and
she
I'm gonna
didn't
put
hear
this
you.
in just a little more in case I need it.
Sketchy,
Yes.
is that going in the oven?
No, it's stovetop.
Stovetop.
What? Get
So it's
out of here.
low heat stovetop. It doesn't take very long. I'm basically melting the cheese and letting all the, liquid absorb. The only place I skimmed was on the simmering of for time purposes. This should have simmered at least until the onion was all the way cooked through, just to have a lot of flavor. Obviously, the more flavor that you get from from your cinnamon sticks and your cloves, the better your bread pudding will be. But I threw a lot of them in so it would be, have enough cinnamon flavor at least. So, okay, we're going to leave this on low. And then we're going to go to the next. How far are you with that chicken? Not far, almost done? Okay, let's do this. I am going to make a bruschetta because it's Friday night. My kids want hot dogs, and they're going to eat hot dogs. And I am not making hot dogs on a live. So I'm going to make chicken salad that I'm going to be nibbling on, a charcuterie board that we'll all nibble on through the night. And I'm going to make some bruschetta because I've got these beautiful yellow tomatoes. I no longer need this. Here.
I never see yellow tomatoes. Where do you find those?
At my Central Market HEB. It's kind of almost like a Whole Foods, but not exactly. I don't think it's as pricey, but they have a lot of things that you kind of can't find anywhere else. So here's the yellow tomatoes.
Hi, Dan, the organizer man.
Dan,
Hey,
hola.
Dan.
Where is mine?
That's my honey. He's helped me get my house organized.
Ooh.
Mostly, I have one bedroom left. You said you were coming to see me and help me fix it. It's so bad. Well, I don't have that kind of market here. I've got Aldi's and I have Walmart and um hmm,
Yeah, this
yeah.
is not in the town I live. I have to go into Fort Worth, which is a bigger town,
I'll bet
city.
you would find them at the farmers market more than the
Maybe
grocery
I might.
store in some areas.
Actually, you know what? I haven't even been to our farmers market, but they do have a lot of things there that are not in the stores.
So you're cutting the tomato, and I think it's a great moment. We've got a bunch of people in the room to let people remember. Many of us, if you have a super sharp knife, you can use that kind of knife to cut your tomatoes. If your knife is not as sharp, you can use a serrated edge. Many times people say that's the only way you can cut a tomato. No, if your knife is really sharp, it'll work. But if it's not so sharp, or you're somebody who doesn't like that sharp of knife, your hand movements maybe is not as comfortable, then go with a serrated edge. Traditionally, that works really well with tomatoes. But it was such a great moment there when I saw you do that, because that's sharp. The fact that you're just slicing through that. But I often know some people who are conscious of, I don't want to use knives that sharp. Use a serrated edge on your tomatoes. You won't crush them. They cut really well.
Right. Rhoda sent me a tomato knife,
Oh.
and I love that thing.
Okay, so you can see it's just a rough chop, no particular it's just for my family. You know, I feel like I'm always judged because nothing is the same size. But you know what? I'm the one that's gonna chew it and eat it, and I don't even care about that. Usually, when I'm serving people, like when I have company, I try to be a little more pretty, but it's just Friday. It is what it is.
And bruschetta is not meant to be perfect slices. Those are again rustic dishes that's meant to get and feed people, make them feel like they're sampling and eating. It's not meant to be the perfect dice, because a tomato is not shaped in a way that you can get a perfectly square dice unless you've drained all the seeds out and dried it all out and blah
That's
blah blah.
I know you're supposed to like take the seeds out, but I like it with the seeds. You know what I mean? I like it when it gets all juicy.
I do too.
So,
Me too.
I like it this way.
In
Okay.
salad, not as much because I don't like all that slimy, seedy stuff on the bottom. But anywhere else, yes.
I might just do 2 tomatoes because
Homemade ricotta. What?
I was just looking at that. That must be good. Ricotta is
Who
one
is
of,
this?
like some people have cream cheese. I have ricotta in my refrigerator all the time.
really do you.
Right. I need to remember food excursionist. I want to find out how you make ricotta.
Okay. I think I'm just going to go ahead and do 2 tomatoes because they're pretty large, and it'll probably just be 3 of us eating this. So,
And that'll keep for a day or two, right?
yeah, it will. It will. Okay, let's do. I have my basil that I washed. Where's my basil? Here's my basil. I'm going to use red onion. Frank, I hope I'm not insulting you.
Why?
Doing this. I always say that the person that taught me to make this was an Italian friend of mine. Her grandmother was in Italy, and this was her recipe. So,
Hey. A comment. Timothy Kilo said, "What you making, Queen Bee? Queen, hear that, Queen?"
I've got bruschetta here with yellow tomatoes. I've got capirotada, which is a Mexican bread pudding on the stove. That's already bubbling over because my pan's too small. I made too many layers.
You predicted it, though.
But yeah, you don't offend anybody with this recipe, because what people think of as the only recipe is just an interpretation. It is a regional recipe based on what was fresh, what people had. So, people use purple onions, people use white onions, I mean, it's always different. And really, I encourage people, make it the way you and your family like it.
Right. Okay. I like that too. Here, right here. Let me get the garlic.
Okay. Y'all, please follow Food Talk TV. Tap the screens and share the live. I got 15 people in a while ago. Well, I shared with 15 people. If several came in. But y'all can share, what are they going to do, spank you and take your birthday? Come on.
Mm-hmm.
Share the
Boy, the
live.
purple looks good with the yellow orange there, doesn't it?
Doesn't
Yes,
it?
that's
That's
contact.
colorful. I like. And I bought some like little, what's it called? The skinny little. I have to toast them though.
Pasta maker, I agree. Recipes are suggestions.
Exactly. And see, our own sketchy chef said right in the very start, um, I don't follow recipes,
They,
they follow me. Yes. Hi,
and I think TikTok is
Dexter.
the place that people are so offended. It's almost like people aren't willing to experiment with what they have. Like with this bread pudding, I'm just making it the way I know it because it's just a memory. But you suggested the cherries. I'm totally gonna do it. Like I'm willing to try something different with a recipe that I know.
Mhm. Yes.
So okay.
Who? Who
I
said hi? Or, oh, right. Okay. All right, listen. Monday night, this lady up here is going to be, and she's the head honcho of the grub match, and she's going to be going head to head with Baker, but no, Cupcake
cupcake lady.
lady,
I'm not sure what the number is. 69. I'm not sure.
86
86.
Cupcake lady.
Gosh. Okay. Sorry.
Anyway,
I'm
I
excited.
know well, I'm friends with a cupcake diva, so I keep getting it messed up. But anyway, her name is Vicky Brown, and she's going to be battling Sketchy Chef, and they're going to be cooking with cookie dough. And so we're going to see how that all plays out. I'm your
Because you have to
queen
make
hostess,
it savory.
and huh? I mean,
You have to make
no,
it
not hostess.
savory. With
Sweet and savory, yes. And it starts at 8 p.m. Central. And if you think that you have what it takes to go up against Sketchy Chef, head on over to foodtalktv.com, just like in the upper left corner, but with a .com on it and a browser, and look up how to be send in a video to tell us why you want to be on the grub match and who you are and all that goodness, but have at least 1,000 followers because you got to go live.
okay.
Correct.
All right. Now here comes the good part. So at one point I wanted bruschetta, and of course they were out of basil because everybody was buying the basil. I have no idea why. Right? I was like, who runs out of basil? I need the basil because I'm making bruschetta. Go check in the back. And the guy's like, no, we don't have basil. Oh my gosh. So anyway, I came home and I used dried basil. And it worked ish, when you really want bruschetta and there's no fresh, it worked. But there's nothing like the fresh like it should be.
Oh yeah. Chris said, was that when it was your match with him?
No. Oh my gosh. Imagine if I would have not had basil. No. That would have been really bad. Oh yeah, but that time too, I had to hunt basil. I had to buy basil plants. I had to buy basil plants at Walmart.
Well, Ivy said she's never seen basil packaged like that before.
Really? Well,
I don't think I have either. We need a Trader Joe's, an HEB, a Costco, something. But no, we don't.
So growing up, my family, we loved basil. My father was always grew it. After he died, my sister planted a basil plant at his headstone. but it would grow so big that she would have to go and cut it down. So, and then she felt like it's this beautiful, big, big thing. So she would make pesto and then of course that Sunday when she first did this, then she told everybody where it came from. People were mortified, but you know what? Every year now she makes sure that plant gets in, and has become like the annual remembrance because it just grows so big at
That's
his
a
headstone.
nice story.
It is. I love stories like that.
I know. That wouldn't bother me at all. As a matter of fact, that would be so cool.
Well, when I was little, my biggest memory about gardens and what have you, every March 17th, every one, my grandpa planted watermelons on that date. And I know that because it was my birthday and it'd make me mad because they were taking up my birthday time planting watermelons.
Oh, that must smell so good right now. The tomato and the basil just on the cutting board smell.
Delicious.
Folks, if you're not following us, welcome to Food Talk TV. We're a collective food creator group that we come on every day. One of us is doing a live. We also have a cooking club that you can join and attend. That's a live remote on Wednesdays. We have Grub Match, which is TikTok's first and only live competitive cooking competition in real time. Sketchy Chef, who you're seeing right now, and today's live actually competes against folks who reach out to us. We have a website, we have recipes that you'll see on here. We're on all the platforms on social media. You can always watch our lives afterwards within usually 24 hours on YouTube, on our YouTube channel. If you aren't subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do. We also are on Pinterest and Facebook. We're all over the place. And we go live every day. If you're curious as to who's live when, we have our creator schedule on our events link on the website as well, foodtalktv.com.
Ooh, this smells so good.
Ugh, it looks so good.
This smells so good. You know, the longer you let this set as well, Frank, you know that. It's just, it gets better and better and better.
Wow.
Oh my God, it smells so good.
I had my first about 2 years ago. I'd never had it before. And that's so good. Hi, Leets. I'm glad you did come. This is Food Talk TV, and we're a bunch of creators who cook on here for you every day. Please follow us.
And you know, the reality is, if you just were to look at this, you would think it's salsa. And it's different, but it's the same but different. What Sherry and I always say, salsa is going to have jalapenos. It's going to have different herbs in some cases. So they're very, very similar, just different parts of the world. They originate differently. That looks lovely.
You know what? I'm like basil.
Ooh,
I love basil. It's probably one of my favorite herbs.
You know, I like it in scrambled eggs. Oh my gosh. Okay.
I put it in sandwiches like lettuce.
Really? Yeah, I bet it's good like that. Okay.
I just made friends with a pasta maker because I've done sourdough and I love sourdough.
All right, so you've got your bruschetta made. You've got the Mexican bread pudding still simmering on the back pot, and that's been simmering about 30 minutes, maybe 25 minutes.
I think so. Since we've been here, it's overflowing everywhere because you can see it's sponging up now. So, which is what it does, and that's why I should have went lower, less layers. But oh well, too bad. Okay.
So now you're making a chicken salad.
Chicken salad, yes. Chicken salad.
All right, here's the question. Are you going to use the leaves or not?
Absolutely, yes.
I am team celery leaves. I am right there for it.
Absolutely, yes. Just these very top tippies that looks a little dry, I'm going to get rid of.
Mm.
I was little now, and my mother would make any kind of salads.
Oh,
Would always chop everything so tiny, like you couldn't distinguish between the onion or everything was like so tiny. And I'm the complete opposite. I like everything big chunk, chunkier than small. So, is there any way you can hand me that, or let me do it? I'll grab it.
My father and my mother, when I would make soup or salad, they would come up behind me and they would pull the celery leaves out of the pile that I was going to compost and say, "This is good. Put these in there. Stop wasting it." I'm like,
It has the best flavor.
yeah. Sort of like dandelion leaves. People don't know unless you grew up with them that they're edible.
So this has a lot of celery. I like it with a lot of celery. I like to taste the crunch in my chicken salad. And again, this is just for a couple of people because my kids are eating hot dogs today. That's what they wanted. Of all the things I can make, I mean, I literally say, what do you want? Name it. I'll make it, like anything. And they're like, hot dogs. So it's really sad. They don't name some gourmet meal. They just want a hot dog.
Every time growing up, my mother would make steak or pork chops as a kid. She knew that I didn't really like meat growing up. So, every time she would make steak or pork chops, she knows she would, unless it was ground beef, she would end up putting hot dogs in the same tray for me because I was like, why are you going to waste it? I don't eat it. I liked grilled meats and I liked ground meat. And for years, I think I must have been like 14 before I started to eat steak or pork chops or, stuff like that.
That's so funny that you say that because one of my youngest son, he doesn't like meat. He doesn't like fajita steak, especially beef, chicken. But so when we grill, we'll make him like an Italian sausage. He'll eat that. That's funny.
Yeah, grilling and smoking, I'll eat anything that's not moving that's been prepared on that. But there was something about it growing up. It took me a long time. Like Brussels sprouts. Again, when I was an adult, I discovered I liked them. And I think that's one of the
thanks.
things, not making people feel bad about things they don't like as a kid, because you'll come around to it. I think, Sherry, the vegetable that you make all the time, I had no intentions of retrying that again. I know I'd had versions of it in the South that I wasn't particularly impressed with because of its nature with it being slimy. But then I tried it one day after seeing a couple of your recipes. I'm like, oh, this is good. I'll do this again. Or chayote squash, same thing. It's very slimy when you
Mhm.
cook it, and until you've cooked with it, you don't know.
Exactly. All right. What is that going in the mix with the
Chicken.
tomatoes? What are you going to do with it?
So here's my chicken, and my daughter just shredded it all up for me. This is, believe it or not, this is 3 chicken breasts. Oh my gosh, it's a lot. But I'm gonna just give this a little rough chop.
How do I order a daughter or a granddaughter to do my prep like that between the two of you? I don't have one of those. Is there a special
Mine.
store I can go to for that?
Sorry, no. You got to pay your dues for those.
Oh, no, no, no. The cost is way too high. I
Maybe
hear you're
Exactly.
paying for
on
them
the
for
dark,
years.
maybe on the dark web, Frank.
Right.
But you didn't hear it from me.
Hey, Ivy, I didn't like beets. Mm-mm. Hi, Janet. How are you?
Deanna's got one for rent. All right, there we go. Yeah, they would be broke. Now, is that like a, rotisserie chicken that you shredded?
No, it's I boiled 3 chicken breasts.
Oh, okay.
So
Mm.
you know what? This is falling off.
Just throw that anywhere.
Before someone eats it in their sandwich, like me, breaks a tooth. We don't need that today.
Beets. I don't think I like beets now. I haven't tried them, but I remember. Ugh. But Frank, I've started eating celery. My son always, I agreed with him because he said it was the stalk of Satan from because of where it grew out from, straight up from where. And so, but I've been eating it in things lately, and it's good.
It's
So
also the type of vegetable. Beets have changed over the years. They've been cultivated differently. So now you're not getting the beets that we might have recognized that were old or canned. If you find out they can be very sweet. There are a lot of vegetables that have changed.
Yeah.
Just because we have access, they're not sitting, or as a kid we got what we got. And whether it was fresh, or if it was, you got limpy carrots, we weren't throwing them away, so you were eating limpy carrots. It was just,
yeah.
or you had cans.
Well, I just remember that it tasted like dirt and it was gritty.
Yeah,
It was a texture more than a taste for me.
yeah. There are
But
ways to avoid that with them. I'll have to find you a recipe.
All right, my cameraman said not to add the
not
so
to what?
olives, although I'll probably just add them to my own salad.
Is olive manzanilla in Spanish?
I don't know.
No, what is? No, that's butter. No, what is? I'm getting confused. I need to go back to Spanish school.
Well, in Spanish you say aceite de olivo, so I don't know if it's olivo like that or just in that word. I don't know.
Well, yeah,
Google
that
it,
was the one
Sherry.
thing. What?
Google it.
Hey, see, Ivy said yes, manzanilla, yes.
It's a type of
Oh,
olive, I believe.
yeah,
Maybe it is.
tunas, yes. That's another one. Mantequilla. I was close.
What am I missing?
Manzanilla, mantequilla,
So I'm going to commit sacrilege, okay? I never ever had anything sweet in a chicken salad like growing up in my life. My son is shaking his head. No, don't do it. I'm going to add a
Yes,
little
do it. What are you
instead
going to add?
of cranberries. I always add cranberries. I'm adding a few currants to this. Okay, they're little, Ethan. Just a little bit. Okay? I won't overdo it just so you kind of get a bite because you don't let me have olives. So we're going to do that. Now let me add some
Yes.
pepper to this. Sometimes I like to add salt. And I feel like when you add seasoned salt, well, without the currants, it kind of tastes like the old chicken salad.
Sketchy, you're going to just absolutely have to hold that shaker up one more time and
Oh,
let me have a gander.
from my daughter. Isn't it cute? Look. Ta-da! Isn't it cute? Look.
Yes.
And I even got the matching timer. Yeah. My
She's
kid.
making chicken salad.
What was that?
I said she's making chicken
Oh,
salad. They're wanting to know if you're making empanadas. And I
no.
said,
You know,
no.
that's really good, but not today. Okay. Oh, why did okay.
You're welcome. Yummy. Except for the Dukes.
All right.
It
I'm
looks like a
Hellman's.
Rubik's Cube. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm still a Hellman's. Although I made carrot salad today, and I think, oh, the Dukes might have gone well with that, but it's not something I grew up with, so I never think of using it.
I can't believe
It's
I
weird
had
how
Duke's. I bought a burger mayonnaise, but I only have a little bit left. And I looked in the cabinet and I had the Dukes, but I don't usually have a preference. Usually as a matter of fact, honestly, I usually choose Hellman's because it's just something that I like. I mean, I like Dukes, but I don't know.
And by the way, for West Coast people, best is Hellman's. They're the same exact thing. It's just they market it in the West Coast as Best Foods, in the East Coast and in the Central. part of the country, it's Hellman's.
Yes.
That does look good though.
I love chicken salad and I make my own a lot. But I make mine like I even put pecans in mine and green grapes.
So do I.
Yes. Love
Okay,
it
so
that way so much.
sweet instead of the grapes. So that's what I
Apples
did.
are good. Even
Apple.
roasted peppers, diced up roasted peppers, just dry them off a little bit so they're not so wet.
Let me see if I have an apple because I love apple in it. Apple, apple,
That
apple.
would be good too.
Okay, you know what? I have a green apple. Let me wash it off.
That's what I love. That's what I use is in it because I want that tartness with all the sweet. The chicken is actually on the sweeter side. You've got the mayonnaise, which tends to be sweeter. If you add eggs, it's going to mellow it, but that tartness of the fruit, the apple particularly. But you know what else is good? Persimmons. The not the squishy persimmons, the tart persimmons go really well in that
Ooh,
too.
okay. One of my sons loves persimmons. Okay, let's see here. So we're gonna go ahead and add some apple that I didn't think about because I love apple. I recently started putting apple in tuna salad. Um, and I like it. Someone else did it, and I was like, "Oh, apple and tuna," but actually, I like it. So, yeah, I'm gonna do the whole thing here.
And you leave the skin on. Yep. It is chicken salad. It is chicken salad. She's putting all the goodies in it today. Look at that.
What I have for this is a cranberry bread. So
Mm.
Do you put egg in it?
I don't. I don't. That's the only thing that I just. I like it. If somebody makes it and it's in there, it won't bother me. But when I make it, I just don't, and I like it when I don't. I don't. I always change what I add into it, but I never ever add egg. Maybe when I go visit you, Sherry, you can make me some with egg, and
I will.
and I'm sure I'll like it.
As soon as you make me birria tacos.
There you go. Okay.
Folks, you can share the live. We've got a little bit more time. Share those likes. So tap our screen. And if you're not following Food Talk TV, please give us a follow as well as all of our creators.
If you go to Food Talk TV in the upper left corner, there are tabs at the top that shows all the creators, so you can get a feel for what we're like, and then you can decide to follow whether you want to follow or not. But at least you need to follow Food Talk TV for Grub Match and all the good stuff, and Frank's live on Thursdays. It's so much fun. It's 2 p.m. Central, 12 Pacific time.
We've got
Is
our
that
Saturday morning live with Just Like Granny. Wednesday afternoons, I think it's 2 o'clock Central or East Coast. Oh, but Wednesday afternoons is Cooking with Kaz. Moises is Tuesday.
Tuesday?
Tuesday.
Yep.
Gluten-free Mama
In the
Ann
evening.
is on Tuesdays as well. You and Christine switch on Sundays. I think we've got everybody on that list.
And today's Trisha. And then you're on Thursday.
And I'm on
And so
Thursday.
on Sunday, October Dragonfly and I switch every other Sunday. But I'm trying to figure out another thing, maybe. So we'll see.
And if you're interested in the Food Talk TV experience, reach out. If you go to the link in the bio, there's opportunities for you to find out more about us, but there's also an opportunity to reach out to us and talk about what it's like to be part of the creator family that we have, what the obligations are, how we operate. So there's information on that, as well as putting your name in for Grub Match, which is Monday night's competition.
And we
Where
are for competition.
yeah, and we've got several people who are getting eager and excited to compete.
Watch our YouTube feed matches on Food Talk TV. You go to Grub Match, and maybe you'd like to do the same thing. Cook against me. It's a lot of fun. Okay, so there we go. There's our chicken salad. There's my bruschetta. This is probably done. It's all puffed up.
Oh, look at that.
Please.
Ah.
For that.
All right, listen. Pat, what Pat asked, how do we sign up for a session on this platform? Are you talking about like to be one of the creators? Go to foodtalktv.com and you can find all the information about how to become a Food Talk TV creator, or just to sign up against Sketchy Chef on a Monday night. We've got all the stuff in there, and you can find out maybe, and if not, just ask a question, because it will go right straight to one of us and we'll answer you privately.
Oh, there you go. Look at the cheese.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Sketchy Chef. Look what you've done there.
There you go.
Yep.
That screams put my comfy pajamas on, big socks, and jump on the bed or the couch and eat that with the dog sitting next to me.
Yep. And warm up your cold coffee, because you never can drink it before it gets cold. What's that? It's called, I forgot already. Capirotada.
Now this recipe I'll be sending over right away, because this is my family's way they made it. Okay, it's a traditional Mexican dish or dessert. Actually, I'm dying to know. It has a significance, like as far as religion goes, about Catholic, I think. But my parents weren't Catholic, and it had no significance like that in my house. But it actually has a history of why you put the ingredients in that you use. So, okay, it's hot.
Somebody loves your bowl a lot. She has a bowl. Oh, she's 15, y'all.
Oh,
that's what I just said. Sketchy. I just said she's 15 again. Look at her. She's loving it.
Much right now. Okay, this is really good. I'll be sending this recipe over. It's so easy. You saw how easy it was to make. Well, my hour went by faster than I thought, so here's my bruschetta I'm going to be nibbling on all night. Chicken salad, this is for me. I'll probably be eating this all night until I'm so fat that I can't hear. And my kids are making hot dogs, so that's that. Thank you for being here, Frank and Sherry.
Thank you. This is lovely.
Thank you.
Thank you for being with me, and we will catch you on the flip side.
Bye.
Bye.